The Confederation of the Sahel States is on lit this weekend. A lot is happening. Now, on Saturday, beside launching or inaugurating three food processing companies in an industry, that's basically, beside inaugurating that, it was also, which was inaugurated by President Captain Ibrahim Traore, Burkina Faso also has launched the first largest genetic bank in this sub-region in the Sahel states. Now, what happened? What is the standard of it? What does this mean for Burkina Faso? That's something that we are going to unpack for you today. Now, I want to share this video of the inauguration because, as always, I like to back my analysis or reporting here to you with evidence so that you see what I see. It's important. The visual is really important. Okay. Now let me just. What is this? I shouldn't have done this. Anyway, so what happened is that the largest plant genetics bank is built in Burkina Faso, and this is the first of its kind in the sub-region in the Confederation of the Sahel States. Now, the thing is that this is it's built on international standard. And what does this mean also for for Burkina Faso, for countries like Burkina Faso, who are, who is fighting colonialism and, in this revolution of, I'm trying to get the video for you, which I don't seem to get, and that irritates me. Well, I might have found it here. But in any case, this means, of course, it has a numerous advantage for biodiversity, conservation of food security, and for scientific research. So normally genetic banks are, vital insurance policy against loss of genetic diversity when it is caused by, of course, different things like climate change, and also it can also be a natural disaster or disease outbreak. So in that case, you simply have a backup. That's what it means. Now, let me share this so you see visually what this genetic bank looks like. Yeah, so let's go to the speech.
Built according to international standards. I would say that in the sub-region, there are banks specializing in rice, such as African rice and cocoa, but our bank supports the entire diversity of crops and is of a standard and size that can support the entire sub-region. There is no such thing in West Africa.
Yeah.
So this bank will be intended to preserve all the varieties of our territory. But why not also varieties that could be entrusted by other countries to do so? That is why it is equipped with a cold room that you will visit shortly, with international characteristics. In any case, with devices that generate cold inserted in the walls and in the ground, with everything that allows us to maintain the climatic conditions to preserve our varieties for 40 years. He had out were seeds. Those who have an empty stomach, those who do not eat, those who do not have their seeds, the seed companies dream of owning weak countries like ours in terms of seed. And guaranteeing sovereignty means allowing all our stakeholders to have varieties for their activities, particularly researchers and farmers.
Your strains. And it is
Yeah, let's see.
the seeds stored with this young plant bank with seeds and inputs in order to have
Yeah.
good yields.
So this is
The other thing is that this seed bank is also an instrument of sovereignty. Why? Because many researchers, many teacher researchers, have found very interesting varieties. We have found many very interesting young varieties. Unfortunately, due to the lack of such infrastructure, these genetic resources end up elsewhere in the world, where our sovereignty would lie if we ourselves develop varieties that we are unable to preserve, the solution to which lies elsewhere in the world. So this seed bank will now allow any researcher to be able to conserve different varieties on site. But instructions have been given that all these varieties that are dormant here and there in small laboratories at the national level that are scattered throughout the world. And all these seeds, all these varieties, be repatriated to this seed bank. I would like to point out that the seed bank is a first, at least in West Africa, in terms of compliance with international standards in terms of capacity, because this seed bank will allow us to have seeds that we can conserve in the short, medium, and long term. So truly, it is a very important achievement by the government that is in line with the logic of the RPP, in which truly promises this much sovereignty in terms of food production and production. When we talk about food production, we often overlook the issue of livestock farming. Agricultural production also affects what are called fodder plants. So all these fodder plants and seeds can also be stored here. So truly, this will be the showcase of all the diversity of speculations that we have had in the past, that we have today, and that we may have tomorrow on the side.
So this is the genetic bank, as you heard it. It's the first of its kind in this sub-region, actually. Also by this standard, I mean, some countries in West African countries they have, but not this kind. This kind is the first for the first time in West Africa. So well done to Burkina Faso. As always, they are leading by example. Now, what does this mean to Burkina Faso? Meaning gene banks offer advantage for countries like Burkina Faso in fighting against new colonization by providing sovereignty, biodiversity conservation, and the capacity for independent agricultural innovation. So the key advantage areas are food sovereignty and self-reliance. So this is by conserving and utilizing their own indigenous crops, land races, and local varieties. Burkina Faso can reduce its dependence on a few multinational corporations for proprietary hybrid or genetically modified seeds. This control over national genetic resource is a critical component of national food sovereignty and allows the country to determine its own agricultural destiny. Number 2, you have protection of genetic resources. Number 3, basis for independent research and development. Number 5, climate change adaptation and resilience also. Number 6, preservation of indigenous knowledge and culture. Number 7, negotiating power and benefit sharing. So these are the things that it brings a benefit to Burkina Faso. Well done. Also, there's an infrastructure for national capacity. Yeah, well done to Burkina Faso. And that was it for now. Thank you again for tuning in. I will see you on the next one. Ciao, ciao.